Police officers are supposed to protect and serve, but what do you do when you need protection from an officer? You're about to meet a single mother who was attacked by an off-duty sergeant, and now she wants to know why that officer is still carrying a badge. I do want to warn you, though, that some of the images in this story are graphic. It was just after 10 p.m. on a Wednesday in November 2007, and at Flood's Bar in downtown Detroit, it was business as usual. Drinks were flowing, live music was playing, and the night was just getting started. It was around that time that this woman, who asked not to be identified and who we'll call Emily, showed up with her cousin to celebrate passing a college exam. And it did not take long before she recognized an off-duty Detroit police sergeant.
She was speaking with someone that I knew, my cousin.
The sergeant was Lanisha Jones, an 11-year veteran of the department who worked homicide for DPD. As long as they've known each other, both she and Emily admit they've never liked one another.
And I've never put my hands on her, ever. Only had words with her.
And on that night in November, the two had even more words, but this time it was different. Standing near the bar, things got tense. The women argued. Suddenly, the off-duty sergeant, wielding a glass like this, hit Emily in the head, knocking her to the ground. Emily says the sergeant ground the pieces of glass into her forehead. When it was all over, this is what the sergeant had done, leaving deep lacerations in the head of her victim. One witness would later tell officers she saw blood running down everywhere and that she could see the bone exposed in Emily's head. It would take 20 stitches to close the wounds.
I never saw it coming. I couldn't see. It was blood in my eyes and in my face.
Sergeant Jones was taken here to the Central District where she was booked. She would later say that she hit Emily out of self-defense, that Emily was about to swing at her, but that's not reflected by statements taken by Detroit police that night. DPD suspended Jones and later fired her, and it wasn't long before Wayne County prosecutor Kim Worthy charged her with felonious and aggravated assault. Eventually, the sergeant would strike a deal, pleading no contest to misdemeanor aggravated assault. She was sentenced to 1 year of probation and a course in anger management. She served no time in jail.
She didn't get the charge that she deserved. She got away with something.
So imagine Emily's surprise when she found out the same officer the Detroit police didn't want wound up here in Highland Park, first as an inspector, and just a few weeks ago she was named deputy chief.
It was really like she got away with it. And that's why she did it in the first place, because she knew she would.
It's a morale killer, really. We need something in that department to boost morale, not something like that.
It's not just Emily who's upset over Jones's promotion to deputy chief. This Highland Park police officer agreed to speak with Action News, but asked that we disguise his voice and not show his face for fear of retribution.
You're supposed to be living an exemplary life. You know, you're supposed to take care of your business, and, you know, going out and beating people, losing your temper, your control, and it's not something that you would do as an officer.
This is the first time I've seen those photographs, and this is the first time I've ever heard about a felony.
Highland Park Mayor Hubert Yop admits he did not know his deputy chief had been charged with a felony and says he'll look into the case details. But regardless, he stands by his decision to promote Jones, adding that citizens have called her highly professional and a great officer. She's in a leadership position. This isn't just a slap across the face in a bar. This isn't assault and battery. She hit someone over the head with a glass and ground the glass into the woman's forehead. She still has the scars. You've seen the pictures. This was a serious assault.
I don't have all of the facts of the case, so I can't comment on that. If I had the case file before me, or I had previously viewed the case file, I may have different comments. But this officer's done a great job. She's doing a great job.
When Jones refused an on-camera interview with Action News, we caught up with her stepping into her department vehicle. Are you fit to be a deputy chief here, considering you've been convicted of aggravated assault? Excuse me. Do you think your department takes you seriously with that kind of conviction?
After she did what she did to me, she turned around and got another position, and even a higher position, and she's still wearing a gun. So she feels as though she's empowered because she got away with it with me. She can do it again.
Deputy Chief Jones is suing the city of Detroit, saying she was unfairly dismissed when the Detroit Police Trial Board voted unanimously to remove her from the department. As for Emily, we should tell you that she sued Deputy Chief Jones civilly and received an out-of-court settlement for $7,000. I'm Heather Catallo, Channel 7.